Hi there, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Laura, I'm 28 years old and I'm from Southern Ontario in Canada. I'm totally new to YouTube, so please forgive me if I stumble at all during this video, but I really appreciate you watching it and I hope that you can find it either informative or inspiring. I have been a vegan for about 5 years, but I've eaten a plant-based diet for almost, well actually over half of my life. Since I was a kid, I've eaten plant-based. I started as a fairly strict vegetarian and progressed into veganism over about the 10 or 15 years that I've been plant-based. A little bit more about myself. I'm also super into fitness. I lift weights about 5 times a week. And I decided to start this channel because I really just want to show people that you can be vegan and you can be super strong, you can be very athletic, and you know, a plant-based diet is a completely healthy and viable way to achieve your fitness goals, and I hope that I can be an example of that for anyone who might be watching this. I thought a great way to start off my channel and start off my videos would be to answer some frequently asked questions that both myself and probably a lot of vegans out there get on a regular basis. So I first went vegetarian when, again, I was around maybe 12 or 13 years old. I can't really, I try to think often actually, and I can't really think of one single event or one single, it wasn't that I had seen something or read something. I just sort of came to this feeling naturally. Sorry if you hear noise. My cat is running around going nuts. But yeah, when I was a little kid, I kind of came to this fairly naturally, and it just, I guess the older that I got and when I became old enough to sort of realize like what meat actually was, it sounds so obvious, but when I was old enough to sort of know like I was eating an animal and like this is what it looked like and how it sounded and what it did before it was killed to become food, I think I couldn't wrap my head around that. I wasn't really comfortable with the idea. It didn't seem natural to me. So it was a pretty natural progression for me to at least stop eating meat or sort of things that are very clearly a dead animal, I guess. That sounds kind of harsh, but to me that's sort of how I interpreted it as a young person. It just was, I was actually telling a friend of mine, we were talking about it last week, and I'd said I think like the only way I can describe it is that it started to stop looking like something that I should be eating, and it started to look more like just exactly what it was, which was body parts. So I think I was maybe around 12 or 13, and I remember telling my mom I didn't want to eat meat anymore. My family's very supportive of my decision, they always were. So my mom was pretty awesome about always preparing plant-based meals for me and that sort of thing. So I lived as a vegetarian, a lacto-vegetarian, so I did not consume eggs, but I did eat some dairy products from about that age of around 12 or 13 throughout my teens, and then when I reached my early 20s is when I transitioned into a completely vegan diet. And I'm 28 years old now, and I've been vegan ever since. I think I came into that decision because, again, just like when I was younger, it was almost as though the older I got, the more educated I was able to see then dairy products for what they were. I think when I was younger, whether it was maybe a little bit of an excuse on my part or it was just ignorance, I think I continued to think that it was okay to eat animal byproducts because in essence the animal was not dying for me. But of course, vegans, all of us know that that is not the case. So I think when I was old enough to realize like, no, the dairy industry is actually probably worse than the meat industry, and the suffering and the torture that animals in dairy production are subjected to is not right either. And I think the older I got, obviously that was unavoidable, and that was just sort of the next step in my natural progression into a plant-based diet. That coupled with the fact that in my early 20s, that was when I was starting to really get into working out and eating as healthfully as I could to support my workout goals. So I think from a health standpoint too, as a young female, a young active female, the health benefits of a totally plant-based diet became all the more clear to me. So transitioning into a 100% plant-based diet was actually pretty easy. So as all vegans know, the million-dollar question is, where do you get your protein? This has probably been answered countless times on YouTube videos already, but I thought I would throw in my 2 cents and give you some of my favorite protein options. First and foremost, probably being stuff like chickpeas, lentils, black beans, kidney beans. I really love all of those things. They're very versatile. You can eat them cold, like in things like salads. You can cook them. You can crush them up and make stuff like burgers out of them. Or sometimes I'll do like lentil tacos and use the lentils as sort of the filling for the tacos. That's really good too. Things like tofu. I'm not a huge fan of tempeh. I like it sometimes, but it's not a staple of mine really. I don't super love it. Some people love it. So I mean, it's definitely worth trying as a protein source. Something that I didn't always really love, but I'm starting to use a lot more of it now, and it's actually quite good, are the sort of, I hate to call them this, but meat substitutes. So I really like the Gardein brand of products, especially the crispy tenders and the buffalo wings. The buffalo wings are so good, so those I really like. I like the Eve's Gourmet veggie burgers. So they have a couple different ones. I believe one type is only vegetarian, and then there are ones that are labeled as being completely vegan. So if you are vegan, make sure to look for that. Grains also contain a lot more protein than you might think. So things like quinoa, obviously, is a complete protein. Brown rice, sprouted grain breads, the hamburger buns that I use, or I should say veggie burger buns that I use, those are really high in protein. Even couscous has like a little bit of protein in there. I mean, really with vegan foods, all plant-based foods contain some protein. So as long as you're eating a large variety of these foods, you'll hit your protein requirements in a day, no problem. Breakfast is usually something like, I don't know, I eat like sprouted grain with peanut butter or a little bit of coconut oil, oatmeal with raspberries, blueberries. Sometimes I'll have a smoothie or a protein shake. My smoothies are usually like a chocolate protein powder, some bananas, maybe some peanut butter, flax seeds. I really like the chia sort of cereal with like maybe some raisins. Different seeds, that sort of thing. If I'm home and I have time, I'll make like oatmeal pancakes, or I'll make like a tofu scramble, stuff like that I'll like for breakfast, maybe like a breakfast burrito with some tofu in there, with guacamole and black beans and that sort of thing. Lunches, I'll usually eat, I'll try to make enough at dinner time so that for the next day, especially when I'm at work, I have lunches, or, you know, on the weekends when I'm at home, I'll make a big pot of soup, a big pot of chili, tomato sauce, and sometimes I'll put like ground soy in there for some added protein. So I'll have like pastas. I'm not really a salad eater, to be quite honest, so I never bring salad to work. More things like pasta, chili, soup, or I'll make like a big pan of lasagna, so I have that for like a few days. What else? Dinners, I'll usually eat, like sometimes I always have some kind of green, so I'll do like steamed spinach or steamed kale, steamed broccoli. I make sweet potato fries a lot, roasted vegetables, so I'll do like a ton of different veggies, a little bit of the sort of cooking the avocado oil spray. I'll roast that in the oven. Again, something like pasta, or if I made like a pot of chili. Lately, I've actually been really liking marinated tofu, so I've been doing that in the oven. Protein shake before bed when I get home from the gym, or I'll do like another piece of toast with peanut butter. Nuts, stuff like almonds, cashews I really like for snacks. Lately, I've really liked chocolate soy milk, which has a lot of sugar in it, but anyway, that's been a snack of mine lately. I ate a lot of fruit. I love pineapple. I love red grapes. Mangoes are my favorite. Green apples. Bananas are okay. I don't really like to just eat them. I usually mix them into something, but fruit is usually a pretty big part of my diet as well, and I really like it. But yeah, that's pretty typical for a week of eating. And then on the weekends, I'll have a little more fun. I really like I think it's the So Delicious brand. They make ice cream bars. Like they look like the Haagen-Dazs bars. Those we've been eating a lot lately. There's a vegan bakery not so far from my house, and we go there on the weekends, and sometimes we'll stock up on like cupcakes and brownies and the more fun stuff for the weekend. So I do have treats. I really love the Coconut Bliss ice creams. Those are awesome. So yeah, pizza's another thing I make a lot. We go out I'm thinking of stuff we do on the weekends for vegan meals. There's a couple burrito places nearby. There's a pizza joint that we really like. So yeah, there's tons of stuff to eat. Tons. It's endless, unlimited options.